Hi, everybody. I am Andra Annette, and I am with my good friend and colleague, CJC Boy. And we're here for real life entrepreneurial life. And we're going to talk about some tools today because I think tools are really, really important in your business. And if you're anything like me, I was crazy for my tools and paying a lot of money, and I didn't use any of them. So we want to avoid that before it starts. So, CJ, my friend, when you first came out, were you concerned about what tools you needed to build your business? Did you put any thought into that when you first came out, or did you just come out and throw spaghetti at the wall like a lot of us do?
Definitely didn't think it through because when I came into the online space, I came into the online area where people were like, it's all about attraction marketing, your vibe attracts your tribe, just be who you are and your people will come to you. And I was like, okay, I can do that. Thoughts become things. I've read Law of Attraction. I've done all those things. I can do that. But in reality, it's so much more than that. And I didn't think it through. But luckily enough for me, I partnered with a company that has a platform that has all the tools at my disposal to use them. The key is you have to be smart enough to say, I have all these at my disposal. I'm going to actually use them and implement them. And a lot of people don't do that. And I did. I thought I need to try this, that, and everything. And then it was just like a couple months ago where I really had a conversation with myself and go, okay, you're paying for this platform, but you're not implementing anything that's in there. Maybe that's the stopgap. Maybe that's the gap between being where you want to be and where you are right now. You come to a certain point, not using those tools, but now if you implement them, how much faster can you grow and how much further can you go in a less time frame?
Yes, I think that's so important too. You know, I heard from different people when I came out, oh, you need this, you need this, you need this. So I said, well, if this is good, then having all of them is better. But I didn't know, I didn't know how to use them. So
Right.
that was the stopgap for me. So what's cost me a lot of time and a lot of money was that I didn't know so much tech. So I always had to outsource to other people. But then I had to make sure that those people were credible. Otherwise, I would have to pay down the road anyway. And they weren't so credible. So I lost time and money. And then I had to go back and learn them the tools myself, of course. So I think that having analytics in your business is major. So
Yeah.
I was giving away a lot of stuff, creating all these lead magnets, and all these people were buying them. And I said, well, this is great. I'm making money, but I didn't know who was buying them. I had no way to follow up with them to see if they liked it because um, the VA I had at the time didn't think that we needed to get emails or anything like that. So and that's really important because you do need to have an email system where you can market to people because if Facebook comes down today or whatever platform you're on, you still have a way of following up with them. But it also gives you a real gauge of what's selling in your business and what's not. So maybe it's the way that you're putting your content out there, the wording that you're using. Not everybody's great at copywriting. It's kind of you really either have to spend some time learning what they like and what they don't. And most of our clients are people that we were 10 or 15 years ago. They're in that place. So it's kind of easier if we just feel like we're talking to ourselves because those are really their triggers. Those are the things that people really are suffering with most of the time. Unless you're a nurse like me and you go into real estate, then you have to get a copy. Then you have to get a copywriter because I don't know the first thing about real estate.
Right.
So, but I think that tracking your business and where it's going is really important. So I think that like email marketing is part of that. And there are a lot of tools that are all in one that do like Aweber, it does the analytics and stuff for you. Even that lead generation or lead magnet thing that PayHip PayHip's a really good company. It's free, and you can put a lead magnet together in like 2 minutes on there and start selling. You can connect your email source to it, which I just found out the other day. So because I just started using it, and I was like, oh, look at this. And they do some marketing for you. So there are a lot of free tools out there. So I started on MailChimp when I first came out, and something about the way it looked bothered me. I said, this doesn't look attractive at all. Like the way the lead magnets were made, and it had a big MailChimp across the bottom of it. And I said, I just didn't like it. I thought it was very cheap. And I think it spoke to who I was as a business. So I said, oh, this has got to go. I
Yeah.
need something that doesn't have a name on it. So you pay for that, of course, but it was worth it for me to pay for it to get it out.
Yeah, and anybody that I've ever known that has used MailChimp, and I'm not dogging MailChimp to do it, but they have said it's really difficult to navigate, really hard to set up, and it just doesn't flow freely. It's not an ease of use kind of thing. So,
Well, I know it's really difficult to get rid of because I still have it. I can't figure out how to disconnect it. So
unsubscribe.
it's 3 years later and I can't disconnect it. So apparently I had a couple of things on there. Like I have several domains, right? So I had connected it to a different platform that I did courses on a long time ago, happyhealthyliving.com or something like that. And I don't know how to disconnect it. So it's
Oh,
just there. It won't let me because it's connected to another system. I don't know where that system's going. I hope it's doing very well, but I don't know where it is. So I've had a couple of problems with domains. I was on GoDaddy with domains and they transferred it to Google and Google didn't pick it up. So the domain was just in air. So I kept paying Google. And it took me about a year to get in touch with Google to tell them I don't have this domain. And it looked like it was a subdomain of the one I was using. I said, I have this one, but not these. And it was like 60 something dollars a month. I was paying for it. So I said, so can I connect these and just keep the one I have? And turns out they took them all out. And and because they were like subsidiaries or whatever, who the hell knew? And I was like, okay, it's a good thing I didn't have anything important in there.
right.
So I tell these stories because people look at people that are entrepreneurs for a while, and they say, oh, they make it look so easy when they do a live, or when they talk about their business, but nobody starts that way. Nobody. I remember seeing a video of Russell Bronson when he first started, when I was in Dean and Tony Gracios's challenge. And it was hysterical because, we were all shaken that we had like in our boots that, oh my God, we're going to have to go live. And then he said, listen, he said, we don't start this way. He said, we're confident now. He said, but look, and he showed us, and then all the coaches got up and showed their old videos. And I was like, wow, didn't make me jump out there and do a live, but it gave me something to think about.
Right.
So how difficult for you was it when you first came out, like the first time you went live?
Well, for me, it was a matter of when I first came into the online space, I was in desperation mode because I was like, my cafe just closed. I didn't know if I was going to be able to reopen. I didn't know what was going to happen. And I was like, jump into the online space and be like, okay, I need to make money really quick so I can save my building and I can save my house because my house and my building were connected and all my finances were in one basket. And so I was like, I just got to do it. And when I first went live, I was like, game on, I got this. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be amazing. And then I had everybody in my community going, why are you online? You're a cafe owner. You got to stay with this. You can't be that. We need you to reopen. We need you to be this. And it was like I had no support from my community that was local to me. But then I had all these people online. They were like, "Oh, that's really great. And, you're really pumped up, and you're really inspirational, and you're this and that." And then it's like, people are actually watching. Oh my God. And then I got into that mindset where it's like, I have to be perfect. I have to have it all figured out. I have to, come across, make sure my makeup's done and my hair. That's not who I am. And it took me a long time to be like, no, just be who you are at the core level. Come back to that and then be that person online. Because if you're trying really hard to pretend you're something you're not, you're going to fail every single time. So I like to tell people, always come back to who you are at your core. Those are the people you want to work with. Like Andra said, those are the people that are our clients, are us 10 years ago, and as far as anybody that I've ever come across, nobody wants that airbrushed, perfect, manicured, everything, is unicorns and rainbows and all that shit, because nobody has that. Doesn't matter how many highlight reels they make. And, I think to myself, when I see perfect videos, I think to myself, how many hours did they spend trying to get that just right? Or how much money did they have to spend to send it out to somebody else to edit? When in reality, just show up, do the damn thing, and be yourself. That's what people want. They want people who are real and raw and, normal people, because then that proves that they can do it too. I see so many people looking at people going, they have it all figured out and they're making this amount of money and everything's perfect. And then they think, but I can't do that because I'm not perfect. Nobody wants perfect anymore.
Thank God, because I got to tell you, I have so much trouble even doing a selfie, girl. And I, I swear, I could be scaring all my clients out. Are you sure she's in hell? They say, what is she doing? I'm telling you, I've never been that camera person my whole life. I've never liked being in front of the camera, but I struggled a lot. When I first came out, like if you look at my earlier videos when I'm talking to my groups and stuff, I look so much calmer and so much more relaxed than even now. And I wasn't talking to them as a nutritionist or a leaky gut. I was just talking to them as a nurse. People, it was during COVID and I had all this extra time. So, I couldn't be around my family and I wanted to share with them and stuff like that. And I said, let me help, but I was talking as a nurse and it's so ingrained in who I am after all these years. But it wasn't until I tried to incorporate that nutrition end, and I felt like it wasn't meshing, because nutrition is a big part of nursing. We have to make sure that people are on the right diets and everything. We work with collaborative teams and we're taught nutrition as a nurse. But for some reason, when I tried to step into that shoes, it just didn't feel right. That the heart was coming from the nurse, and it was like, stop this. You're here. Stop it. You're her. And I mean, I can help them more from the nurse, than anything that I've ever learned about nutrition. It comes from the basic knowledge of the human body and how it works. And if you eat this, you're gonna get this, so yeah. So, but I know that a lot of people were really confused when I went online too. Like, well, what the hell are you doing now? And I was like, well, turns out you can do anything after 50 and nobody gives you such a hard time. And so I'm going to do it. Why not? But everybody told me, you're not going to do well. Nobody's listening. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to hear the truth. Just stop it. And, you're spending so much time on that damn thing. What about us? And you got to do what you got to do, right?
And when you're doing it like you do it from your heart. It's all heart. Everything that you say, anytime that you're on there, anything that you're sharing, is because you want people to be healthy. You want people to, do the best that they can for their bodies and their health and their well-being. And that oozes from you. That speaks highly of your integrity of wanting to truly help people. And the one thing that landed when you said that, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you have to grow really thick skin, and you have to stop caring what other people think, and you have to stop listening to other people's opinion. And if you're doing it and it feels good and you're doing it from your heart and it feels good and it brings you joy, continue to do those things and stop listening to what everybody else says, because you can jump through hoops and try and be, what this person wants and try to be what that person wants, or you think you have to talk to all these people to get customers. When in reality, all it takes is you speaking from your heart, being who you truly are, being of value and sharing that value and showing people that you actually can make a transformation in them, that you can help empower them to change their lives in some way, be it monetarily, health wise, well being wise, whatever it is, as long as you're coming from a place that you truly want to serve that person, help that person, your people are going to come. Those people will come to you. They will hear you. They will see you. They will find you in some way because you know your shit and you're confident in what you're saying and you're consistent. You're not changing it up to try and speak to this person this day and this person this day and this person the next day. You're consistently who you are. And that's what people keep coming back to you, gravitating to you because they know what to expect when they see you go live. There's no doubt in their mind what you're going to talk about because that's who you are. That's your brand. That's your knowledge base. That's what you are at the core.
So I got to tell you, there's a lot of nurses that are coming online now, and there's one nurse online who I just love. She's Nikki Cooper. So, and I think her brand is at Nikki Cooper Life. But I follow her because I hear me in everything she says. So I think I think that nurses as a whole are so compassionate, you know. So I wrote something the other day and she said, "Oh my God, this is so true." Like, and I said, "Yeah, but we can't help them all. Like, there's always going to be those people that don't take your advice." And and it's their third amputation and you're like, you got to watch your sugars and you'll never get it. But the only thing you could do is empathize and be there for them and give them that advice. What they do with it is up to them. So you could tell them, the best advice. I know I don't sound like all these people out there that are claiming to be gut health because I'm talking from a place of truth. So I don't want to sound like that, because I gag listening to some of them. Like, oh my God. And not that they're like, I don't judge them. I don't judge them. It's just, it's very different. Like those people you see when I turn online and I see these people posing in front of their cars and on these vacations, I say to myself, well, if life was that good, then why are you stopping for that pose? Shouldn't you be enjoying where you are? Because if that was me, I don't know that I'd want to take that big picture. I think I'd want to enjoy where I was. So I take
Yeah,
silly pictures, but that
I think it's
private
funny.
time, I like to keep that private. And you can't be private online because people do want to see that, you know?
I think it's a fine mix between, you have those people who like every single aspect of their life is online. I don't care that you took a shit at 6 a.m. I really don't care. I don't need to hear that. But you have those people who do that. There's like it's like they have to have every single second of their life online for people to see because they feel like they're gonna miss out on somebody not knowing what they're doing. And then you have those people that are putting like all those pictures of the fancy cars and the fancy yachts, and then you look up their profile and you're like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that picture is off Google and you airbrush yourself in there, so it's a fine line. Like you said, when you get to the point where you're actually making that kind of money, I'm not going to be posting stuff on Facebook going, oh, here's my fancy car, here's my new house I just bought. I'm going to be living in that. I'm going to be driving that car down the road with the wind blowing in my hair, and I'm not going to care who knows that.
So you hear a lot of people too say that they're doing businesses and they're doing really well, but they're not posting online at all. They're not in the DMs. They're not doing any of the things that we've been told to do as entrepreneurs. And they all say, and we're going to show you how. So I never click on those things. Do you?
No, no, because it's almost like you can, I don't know, it's like you can feel the non-integrity of those things. And it's like you can feel and you can see, okay, somebody posts something, you like totally copy and pasted that. Like I see 20 to 30 of those copy and paste things every single day. Or then you get, like you said, the person who's like, I can show you how to scale from 10 to 20 to $30,000, simple, easy, you can be making 30 grand in the next 30 days. Bullshit. There's nowhere out there that I've ever come across that you can do that without putting in the work. And those people, mostly
Or
they
selling
tell you,
something that you don't want to sell.
right.
I
There,
don't
you
know
know,
about that.
I think for anybody who's like, those type of people prey on the people who are desperate, who need money, who are looking for that instant gratification, who are like looking for that thing that's gonna, totally change their lives. And most times the people who invest in those things are scammed. They lose the money. They spend their last dime that they don't have with the hopes, the pipe dream that they're gonna be able to do this thing. And in reality, that person takes your money and you never hear from them again. I've done that. I've been there, done that. I've invested money and been
I've done
told that,
that.
well, you're going to be able to do this. And then it's like, you go back and you try to have a conversation with that person, and it's like, this content is no longer available. Like, what the hell? Where did they go? So you got to be really careful about being in reality, like what's possible. If it's too good to be true, if it feels that way in your gut and there's something that's a red flag, you should listen to your gut.
So I just want to speak to this, and then we'll let you all go. But I want to speak to this. I think that as consumers, if we're going in to buy a garment of clothing, we'd expect that if we weren't happy with that garment of clothing, or we got it home and it didn't fit, that there'd be some kind of guarantee that came with that sale, that we could bring it back, exchange it, or something like that. And I think that a lot of people fail to realize that, and I'm the same. I'm guilty of this myself. I didn't ask for a guarantee. When someone said, we can help you do this, your marketing, we'll have 10 people setting your appointment, really. So I didn't say, what guarantee do I have that if you don't do this, what do I get? So um and I give a guarantee in my business. I'm sure you do too, that if someone doesn't get what they signed up for, then, and if they showed up and they put in the time and the effort, then they can have their money back, if it didn't work for them. You know what I mean? I've never had to give a refund, and I think people deserve to have that guarantee. So if you're really that credible, if you're a marketer, because there are a lot of people that are great at copy but not really good at what they do. So I think it's important to own the responsibility for your business. And it starts with making informed decisions and asking those questions. What kind of guarantee do I have? If you don't get me to 8 figures in a week,
The next 30
what do I
days.
get? What do I get? Do I get my money back? And start asking that. Ask those real questions. But it is really important to track what you're doing while you're out here. Things that don't work. It's not just what's working that you need to know. You need to know what's not working. So every time you learn what's not working, you're one step ahead. So people look at failure and they think it's a bad thing, but it shows you where the future is going. It shows you what success looks like, because now you know what failure looks like. So success is a really different look. So it gives you that comparison and that gauge. So don't be disappointed. Don't give up. It doesn't happen overnight. And keep being you. Show up. Any last
Absolutely.
words, Miss CJ?
I just want to say, be in integrity with who you are, because if you're in a space and you're, buying somebody's course and you want to learn, like how to earn, $60,000 a month or whatever, be in integrity with, you're going to put money into investing in that course, be in integrity with spending your time, your energy, your commitment to being in, working the things that you say you're going to do. So I know a lot of people who spend a lot of money on courses and it sits on their shelf and they never touch it, or they never do the work. It's like going to a workshop and you're like, okay, day one, I'm really super excited. I'm going to take all these notes and I'm super excited. I'm doing the homework. I'm going to show up for day two. And then you get on day two and you're like listening, but you're scrolling through your phone or you're writing notes or whatever. It's like, you have to know what you want. What's your idea of what you want the outcome to be from whatever it is that you're investing in. So be in integrity with yourself too. You can't just expect someone to say, I'm going to help you scale to 10K. And then you just pay them the money and expect it to happen. You have to be in integrity with being able to put in the work and the effort to be able to get that without expecting them to give you something back if you've not put in the work.
I like that. We're gonna close on that night. That note. I want to thank you for tuning into this week's episode with CJ and myself in the Real Entrepreneurial Life. Have a great day, guys.